Hamxposition. Flea market I would give about a B-. Not as good as last year, because I think in part because rain was forecasted in some areas in Massachusetts. I know when I left the Cape this morning it was pretty foggy and we did have some drizzle. You're going to see an interview I had with an ARRL vice president, and we talk about a number of things, including N2RJ, and we talked a little bit about the fees that are being changed as far as being charged for a print edition and the dues increase. And we talked a little bit about him. You'll find him to be a very interesting fellow. And I went to a presentation by Rick Roderick, the president of the ARRL, and he did a decent presentation, but he didn't take any questions, which kind of bothered me. But I did talk to him afterwards, and he was pretty decent to talk to. He did have some issues with the fact that they're charging print people even more that are already members. So, for example, if a person who's already a member gets the print version after January 1st, they're going to have to pay a little more. So that's basically it at the Hamxposition, sponsored by the ARRL in part, and then there's a local group that does the same thing, and they have a pretty decent job here.
WU2D.
And you have a site called Microwave or
Microwave 1 with a K, so it's M-I-K.
M-I-K.
Microwave.
Okay, not like my call. Well, like my call is O-I.
So I'm an old YouTuber. I got started, maybe 12 years ago, putting up these little videos, and over the years I've managed to load in enough content that I'm up to something like 160 videos now.
I see that you did some shorts for a while, but you don't do those anymore.
I did the shorts because somebody made a bold assertion on the YouTube channel that if you did shorts for 1 month, just watch what happens to your channel. That all of a sudden you're going to explode in subscribers, and it's going to be the best thing you ever did for your website or for your YouTube channel. So I said, okay, I'll take up your bluff. I will do shorts every day without fail for at least 30 days. Now this caused some trouble in the community because they thought that me doing this was going to take away from the full content videos that I do. Full content meaning my typical videos are 20 to 25 minutes long. They go over a kid's radio project, a repair of a vintage piece of radio gear, some type of...
Well, what did it do?
What did it do? It basically did nothing. It didn't do nothing.
Now I noticed, I'll get into...
a few people mad. They said, these stupid shorts are driving us nuts. Stop it.
Yeah, I noticed that you really are into replacing capacitors that there's nothing wrong with.
That seems to be one of the things that I'm afflicted with. The more that a capacitor looks like it's bubbling,
right,
maybe melted.
Oh no, you seem to replace capacitors that look just perfectly fine.
Well, that's, let's try $3. Henry?
Hard to argue
nice to see you.
I guess.
Are you going to make the deal or not?
I'm going to put my radio in my pocket so my hand is free.
Okay.
This is one of the most advanced VHF, UHF microwave guys you'll ever meet.
I know the guys.
Okay, well, I'm doing an interview here, and I'll do it with you too. Okay. Pay him his money.
It's a lot broader than they
You get full publicity now, right?
Yeah, you get... What's your name and call?
Be all over the internet.
What's your...
Harry, WA1VVH.
Did you get that call original, or is it?
Yeah,
so that's, you go back in the 60s.
1975.
Okay, 1975.
VVH means very, very high.
Okay.
Very hungry.
Will you pay him already? So I can continue my interview with him.
Yeah, he's only got so much memory on that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'd rather use this.
Okay, we can continue.
You saw it here.
Yes.
At WU2D, Microwave 1 channel.
Okay. Anyway, you wind up replacing these capacitors that are perfectly fine. I just wanted to know, now is this your car here?
Yes.
Do you go around replacing light bulbs in your car that are good?
I don't, but actually Nissan does.
Oh, Nissan, they
Yes,
replace good
yes,
bulbs.
They do.
And do you replace tires that are perfectly fine?
Well, once I went into
There was
Massachusetts
a reaction the last time.
and I hit speed
Yeah, we went to
traps
college
and things,
together.
and they break up the
I
concrete
had at
outside of
least one
Logan,
class with
I end
him.
up busting tires that I have to replace. Now
Okay.
they look good.
Probably not.
They look good.
They look good.
But they've taken so much damage from Massachusetts that I just replaced them because I'm nervous.
Now, when you buy capacitors, do you charge them or do you have to pay cash?
Typically, I charge them, but I pay attention to polarity.
Okay.
And if
All
there's
right.
not a polarity marked on the capacitor, I could spend up to several hours just determining what lead of the capacitor I should hook up to the chassis.
So when you use your credit card to charge, does your credit card have a polarity?
I have a credit card that actually looks like a Black Beauty. It's got stripes on it.
Okay.
That I use just for buying capacitors.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to hear. Now, I sometimes make comments on your videos, and sometimes the comments are pointed. Is that okay? You okay with that?
Emotionally, I will be taken aback, usually for a few seconds. But then all of the other commenters start to throw arrows at you, kick your ass around a little bit. And usually I start to feel better then, and I just let it go.
All right.
Let it go.
Let it go. Did you know that if you become a member of the ARRL now, you will not get the print edition after January unless you pay extra.
Are you talking about the American Radio Relay League?
And if you work for the American Radio Relay League, you have to say ARRL. So
I can't say ARRL.
no, not if you work for them.
ARRL.
No, not if you work for
Say that
them.
anymore.
No, and if you work for them, you have to say ARRL.
So can I abbreviate things?
Yes.
Can I say like cap or puff?
No, puff. Don't ever say puff. Puff. They're not puffs.
Under puff.
But let's go back to the
Microfarads.
Did you know are you a member of the ARRL?
I only had one rule as a ham radio operator, and it's all because I was given a stack of
Let's have the rule, okay?
73 magazines.
Right.
And I found them a lot more interesting than the ARRL QSTs. I compared them left and right.
So are you, just answer the question, are you?
I have never, nor will I ever, be a member of the
ARRL. Okay.
That doesn't mean that I haven't written for them and been published in QST. That doesn't mean that I don't support them. That doesn't mean that I don't think highly of them. It just means I will never be
a member of the right. How do you feel about people not getting the print edition and having to pay for it extra?
I've always gotten them through other means.
What? Say that again?
Other means.
Oh, other means.
I've heard of that.
Okay.
I also get the Radio Society of Great Britain publication by other means.
Okay, all right. I'm not asking for a speech. I know they did an interview with the president of. Hold on. They did an interview with the CEO of the ARRL, and the guy went on for 13 minutes at a time. I'm not going to let you do that, and you haven't done that. Yes, he went on for 13 minutes between one question to the next before he was interrupted. So I do interrupt.
So you interrupted a perfectly good speech by the ARRL president.
CEO.
CEO, and you made a negative comment.
No, I didn't do that. Someone else did it. But I made a negative comment on it.
Did you get it on film?
We don't use film anymore. I don't know if you're aware of this, but we use digital and we use video.
Means?
Yes, so we don't use film.
Like mag tape.
And we don't use footage. And another thing is not.
Rotating head mag tape?
Yeah. All right, we got to go. Take care. Bye.
I'm Mike Raisbeck, K1TWF. I'm the first VP of the ARRL.
And what does the first VP of the ARRL do?
Well, mostly I'm there to back up the president
Okay.
if something comes up.
Do you participate in the meetings?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's like being a board member. The only difference is I don't vote. I can put motions in, and do all kinds.
Oh, so
of
you
things.
can put motions
Oh
in?
yeah, yeah. I sit with a board and
And
participate in the whole thing.
You can't vote. Now, the league has increased the dues from $49 to $59.
Yeah, sad but necessary.
And I understand that. When I first became a member, the dues was $5.
Oh,
However,
Yeah.
that doesn't, it sounds really cheap, but it really isn't, because if you take $5 and multiply it by 10,
Yeah,
which is the inflation rate since then,
Yeah.
you're not too far off from where the dues are now. The question that I've seen some people have is the print version is now going to cost people $25
Right.
additionally. Why is that?
Well, for starters, there's the cost of creating the print, and the idea, I think what the board was thinking was a lot of people don't actually really need the print or want the print, and rather than go with an opt-out, their idea was to go more with an opt-in. Now, I'm not entirely sure I completely agree with that, but the fact that you have different opinions in the board is what makes the board work.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Probably with the most controversy has come up not from the putting in the print, because if
Yeah.
I were to sign up today,
Yeah.
I understand that I'm going to have to pay that.
Right.
But the people who already were members, doesn't that sound?
Yeah, there were several of us felt a little bit that way. I think if you call up headquarters with concerns, arrangements can be made, and then I know there's been some traffic to that extent, but I'm surprised that how few people have actually had a really hard time with that decision. I think most people understand why we're trying to reduce the expenses in order to put the money where it really is going to be effective.
And on life membership, that's been suspended. Why has that been suspended?
Well, it needs to be reanalyzed. I mean, the concept of life membership isn't going away, but the economics of life membership haven't been as favorable to the league as we might like. I mean, the idea with life membership is somebody puts up a big sum of money, then they don't have to worry about, renewing membership or anything forever, but it has to be arranged and planned so that the economics are going to work out 20 years. And who knows what the situation is going to be in 20 years.
Well, I did a cost analysis of my own,
Yeah.
because I'm into the stock market pretty heavy.
So you know the math.
And if you bought a index, let's say we go back some years, and life membership was $1,000. We go back to around.
I just put it in an index fund.
Yeah, put 2000.
Yeah.
And put 2000. In 2000, it was around that.
Yeah.
And you put it in an index fund. The index fund would basically pay your dues,
Right.
and you'd be left with some left over at the end of the 25 years. So considering that, if the league did the same thing, they'd be, even at the dues at the 25-year rate, they would have come out ahead. So what's the problem?
Well, that's why the life membership is suspended for the moment, so they can work out the economics there. I'm not sure that the costs for life membership way back when we were kids were properly set. It's hard to say. So that's all being reconsidered now.
Okay. Just a brief question on the demise of N2RJ. How did that all work out?
Well, I mean, she's decided to go off and participate in a different board, and that's fine. She contributed a lot to the league when she was director, and I'm sure she's contributing on the board that she's on now.
How did the league? I shouldn't say how the league. What's the feeling as far as not having a member any long? You don't have a minority member on the board anymore. Is that correct?
It depends what you call a minority. How about senior citizens? Are we a minority?
Yeah, no.
Because in
We
that
s-
case,
we-
you got a load.
We seem to be majority.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, remember that directors and vice directors are elected. It's not a situation in which the league itself can make decisions about what the composition is going to be of its board.
Okay.
It's the members that vote these people in, and I'm not so sure that it's the league's business to get too involved in exactly how those people are selected.
Okay, but the league did get involved in a book that she had published.
Well, yes, and there were some questions about that. I'll leave that to the record.
Was she given permission to?
Well, it's not entirely clear what she was given permission or the okay to do. I would leave that to the record.
And how long have you been licensed?
Oh my God! I was licensed in 1961, so that gives me what, 63 years? It'll be 63 years in October, I think.
So you must have been licensed as a teenager.
Oh yeah, I was 11 years old actually.
Oh, that's.
I got my novice at 11. I got my general. I was 12, and I think I was 15 when I got my extra.
Where did you live at the time?
Lived in Lexington, Mass.
Did you ever go to Radio Row in New York?
Yeah. I know about it. Yeah, my grandparents lived down in New York City on Manhattan. Yeah, Radio Row. Wasn't that amazing?
Yeah, it was too bad it's gone. Of course, now
yeah,
what
man, and you hear Fair Radio just shut down.
Yeah, that's.
And that's sort of the last big example of that kind of thing.
And just to kind of finish up, what was your first novice rig?
I had a DX60, which I built. I saved up the money. I mowed a lot of lawns.
A DX60 in 1961, they weren't out then.
Yeah, I had it. That's about when they came out.
Okay.
I think it was 60.
Okay.
Might have even been 59. Yeah, it was a DX60. I built it myself with money collected from mowing lawns and shoveling snow, and I have a feeling a couple of $20 bills from my dad's wallet wound up in there too. And he helped me buy the receiver. It was an HQ129X.
Okay. That was a pretty decent receiver for
Back
that
then
time.
it was pretty decent, and of course, what did I know? I was just a novice, but
So
I figured out how it all worked.
at 11 years old. So
Well,
what
yeah,
you got the novice?
The novice at 11 and general just before I turned 13.
Oh, hold it. The novice was only good for a year, so were you?
It was, so it was just I was 11, like it was October I got it, and I got the general, I think in August or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was just like 10 months. Had to go down to 1600 Customs House in Boston. Yeah.
Right, yeah, I've done
I
that.
remember it so well.
All right. Well, thank you very, very much.
Hey,
I
a
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Okay.
Tony, N1AP,
And are you a member of the ARRL?
life member,
Okay. And when did you get your life membership?
1974,
And how much did you pay for it?
roughly $150.
Did you know that they are going to do away with the print edition for life members unless you notify them by, I believe it's January 1st. Did you know that?
Did not know that.
Do you read QST when it comes in?
I do, but I missed that.
Did you also know that people who are members now will have to pay $25 a year more after January 1st? Did you know that?
I did not, and I would think that the advertisers would not be happy with that scenario.
So if you want what you have now, I know you're a lifetime member. If you want what you have now, if you were not a lifetime member, you're going to have to pay $84, not $49 anymore.
Chances are that's not going to happen for a lot of people.
Okay.